That double bloop boop opening was awesome. What movie did Mike and I just watch?
Less Than Zero.
From 1987.
1987.
Starring Andrew McCarthy.
And Robert Downey
Jamie Gertz and
James Spader and Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey.
Do you remember when we did
Robert Downey Crackhead?
Remember we talked about how people became stars for movies? Would you say that Robert Downey Jr. became a star for this movie, or was this star before this movie? Before we get into the details, Robert Downey Jr. Did this make him a star?
Andrew McCarthy was more of a star at that point than he was.
Because I don't know who Robert Downey Jr. was when I first saw this movie.
But Andrew McCarthy was more of a star at that point.
What is the synopsis of this movie?
Crackheads.
Basically.
Alright, so they're high school buddies, right? Andrew McCarthy, Jamie Gertz. They're rich kids. Jamie Gertz and Andrew McCarthy are going out, and Robert Downey Jr. Where does it start off with them at
graduation?
Starts the very beginning of the movie, right? It's their graduation.
Yeah, a bunch of rich, entitled students that were leaving, I guess, high school or college to move on to get jobs. I guess it had to be college, probably.
But Andrew McCarthy is the only one who leaves. Robert Downey Jr. stays and Jamie Gertz stays.
Right. Andrew McCarthy, Clay, goes on his own.
Clay.
Right.
Yes.
To do his own thing. It's pretty much about a movie of a bunch of kids that graduated and went on their own separate ways. And everybody could relate to this type of movie because everybody's been involved with people that they broke up from. Like friends that you don't even want to, because it became like bad people with the law or something like that. You can always relate to a movie like that because I have friends myself that I would not even want to associate with because they went in the wrong direction.
What did you actually say this whole entire time we were watching this movie, too?
It's extremely depressing. Extremely depressing. And I can't even begin to tell you that when we decided to watch this movie to do a review, I saw this pretty much.
Okay, I wanted to talk about it because, like, even not doing videos, sitting here with Mike, this movie would come up in passing during conversations.
We would always talk about it because we talk about the Brat Pack a lot. And
but
things
even
like
talking
that,
about
right?
passing conversations, this movie would always come up.
Yeah. We were actually just talking when we said, you know what? Less Than Zero. I think we were talking about the Brat Pack, and then we said, let's throw on Less Than Zero, actually.
Alright, that's the other idea for the...
Right, we'll get into that.
For the future.
Right. We'll identify who really is a true Brat Pack member and who's a poser.
But Andrew McCarthy was a hardcore flag waving Brat Packer.
Yes, but let me tell you something. If you want a feel-good movie, this is not the movie to watch. If you want a feel-bad movie, like Split Your Wrist movie, like if you're on the...
This is an after-school special on...
If you're thinking about calling a suicide hotline and you say, let me just watch one last movie, this is not the movie that's going to bring you back to...
This is an after-school special on steroids. Or on crack.
Well, pretty much.
Or on crack.
Because this scared the shit out of me when I watched it.
After school special on crack, basically. High budget. Very high budget. You could tell from the way everything looked.
And literally on crack, yes.
And literally on crack.
Right. Yeah, after school special, the more you know. But no, to break down this movie, though, I gotta say, it's a good movie. Very depressing. Basically, it's about Robert Downey Jr. and obviously the beginning of his career. How old was he at the time? I believe you said he was 55 now.
Now he's 55.
So this was in 87, so do the math. But he was 20-something, obviously. And they have a party. They separate from college, right? Everybody goes on their own. They all grow up with rich parents. Obviously, they have money.
Well, even at graduation, Robert Downey Jr. is like bragging to Jamie Gertz and
record producer. He
and,
wants to become a record
Andrew
label.
McCarthy that he's starting up his record label.
Everybody had their plans.
And then it goes to after that it goes to black and white flashbacks of in between that, and Andrew McCarthy comes back.
Why did he come back? It was a party. It was a do you know what it was? A birthday or something?
Christmas.
Christmas time, right.
Christmas.
Came back to his hometown for Christmas and saw shit was turned upside down.
Oh shit was topsy-turvy by the time he goes back for Christmas.
He comes back, Robert Downey Jr. had the promising career of a record label owner, whatever you want it to be.
Insane crackhead.
Becomes an insane crackhead, freebase from the glass pipe.
Who owes $50,000?
$50,000 to Brat Pack James Spader.
What was James Spader a Brat Packer to? That's another one. We can get into that.
That is true.
In the Brat
We
Pack.
have to get into that, yeah.
In the Brat Pack edition.
Yeah, and the only positive moment was when they graduated and they moved on.
And also during his black and white, alright, Andrew McCarthy was boyfriend, girlfriend with Jamie Gertz. And then when he goes into his black and white memories, before he comes back, it's Jamie Gertz was fucking Robert Downey Jr. while he was away.
Right, Robert Downey Jr. when he was away, and he ended up just going the wrong direction. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of people, all of us, could relate to a movie like this because we had our best times of our lives when we were younger. You know, we had a lot of fun. Then real life comes along, and it's like a whole disaster. So I think a lot of people can relate to this movie. I know I can, and you can. A lot of people.
Time.
See us become angels, come on me, right? Hazy Shade of Winter, great song.
So
Associated with a very depressing movie.
he's like smoking crack on people's balconies and stuff left and right.
Right.
Downey Jr.
Clay comes back.
He's like full blown crackhead.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Robert Downey
I
Jr.
mean,
in this movie, it's like
he looks like he's been strung out for days.
It's almost like he prepared for this role.
Absolutely, and that's another conversation that we were having when we were watching it. This might have led to his demise in the first place. He might have actually been like you know how the actor from No Country for Old Men. Who's the actor again? What's the actor?
Wait, who
That always stays in character?
Fabio Bardem?
No.
You said No Country for Old Men.
Oh, Gangs of New York. Whatever that actor is, the one who always
Daniel
Daniel Day-Lewis. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. felt that he needed to actually smoke crack for the role, and that might have led to the thing. But we have to look up the timeline from that because I really think
The timeline.
Yeah, timeline. Because let me tell you, he did such a great job. I don't even. We said, how come he didn't get nominated for Academy Award? Because he was probably actually on crack at the time. He wasn't acting like he was on crack.
Well, he's also like scumbagging his family left and right, and
Yeah.
he's. How many times did he break into families' houses in this movie?
Oh yes. Basically, he comes back and he just starts stealing and does things that you would see in an intervention TV show episode. When Andrew McCarthy comes back to help out Robert Downey Jr. in the movie, Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want his help. He just wants to keep smoking crack, keep working for James Spader.
He wasn't working for James
not at the
Spader
time.
at first.
He owed $50,000 right in the beginning of the movie. He owed $50,000.
But ill gross, he does end up working for James Spader towards the end of the.
And honestly, this movie took place in '87. How much crack do you have to smoke to get a $50,000?
I think
that's a lot of crack.
I think alright, this is what I'm gonna say is that like his
$50,000 in crack debt?
His entire thing was that he signed it over to James Spader of his record label that he was starting.
Right, the $50,000, but still, that's a lot of crack. $50,000.
Oh hell!
Crack is not expensive. It's kind of cheap actually. You can get like a 5 or 10, whatever.
Maybe that crack expense also leads to the end of the movie. Maybe he smoked his weight and more than
$50,000. Yeah, right.
He smoked a lot of crack. There's a lot of scenes. He's on people's balconies. He Wasn't there a scene like he's just on James Spader? He's already on the run from James Spader. And he's like, all of a sudden, on James Spader's balcony, like kicked up in a beach chair.
But he would show up at every party that James Spader had. I mean, it was crazy. He just wanted to keep going.
That's the other thing. Where's Julian? Most of the questions everyone's asking this one. Where's Julian?
Where's
is
Julian? Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. is Julian.
Yeah. Where's Julian?
Where's Julian? Have you seen Julian? I'm looking for Julian. It's like, Jesus Christ.
He was nowhere to be found.
He's somewhere smoking crack.
But somehow James Spader let him get into a $50,000 debt.
For crack.
For crack, which is crazy. It just doesn't. It's just crazy. And let me tell you, Robert Downey Jr. This was an Oscar award-winning performance.
All right, but Jamie Gertz is also. She's. Every scene of her, she's.
Well, she held it together. She's a casual user.
No, she wasn't. No, she was snorting lines every friggin' scene.
But she wasn't.
Are you kidding me?
She wasn't getting pimped out to pay her debt.
She wasn't getting pimped out, but she was.
In fact, in movie,
And her family. Okay.
they don't even show how she makes
Wait.
her money, right?
Remember when she goes when we go and see her family when she goes and knocks on her parents' door, right? What happens? She knocks on her parents' door, and we hear her parents in the room go, "Oh, hey, how you doing, honey?" And you hear from the other side of the door, you hear them snorting.
I guess the moral to the story is the 4 friends that graduated, 1 became successful, 2 became junkies, and 1 was selling to them. Right? James Spader was selling, and 2 of them ended up on drugs.
Well, we didn't see if James Spader graduated with them. They weren't in the graduation.
Yeah, you are right.
There's the graduation picture.
But they did know him somehow from school.
The graduation picture we see in the beginning, and you know.
Yeah, Agent McCarthy was
on. You could get a beginning and end of that graduation picture of the 3 of them.
Well, right. Right. But honestly though, if you really want to be more depressed than you are right now in this time of living in, just watch this movie.
Watch Less Than Zero.
Yeah, I mean it really is, but it's a great movie though. Don't get me wrong. But it's like a movie that, you think this is a movie that you can watch over and over again? I don't think so. It's like a movie you watch once and love it. And like almost like The Sixth Sense. You watch it once, you're satisfied, but you can't watch Sixth Sense again.
It's a high budget after school special. It really is. It's an after school special that was basically released in the theaters. This was released in the theaters.
Oh, absolutely. It was released. This was a popular movie in '87.
This isn't no.
Straight to DVD, Billy Blank's movie, right? It's based on VHS, right? Right, there wasn't even DVD.
And they went all out on the soundtrack of this too. Jesus Christ! Like every 5 seconds they were playing a different song.
Oh, that kiss in there, I wanna rock and roll all night. That's when they came. That's when Clay, Angel McCarthy's character, first came back and saw what a mess was going on. Ended up going after Robert Downey Jr.'s girlfriend, and. It was just a whole disaster.
No, she wasn't his girlfriend. She just banged him while Clay. She just banged him while Clay was out of town. They weren't boyfriend girlfriend.
Right.
She was just she starts asking him as soon as he comes back. She starts asking Andrew McCarthy to look after Julian.
Clay.
It's like make sure Julian's okay. Like
right. And he was like, I didn't come here for Julian. Meanwhile. He ended up really trying to hook Julian up, and then, not to give any spoilers, which I'm not, but it just didn't work out well.
Well, first of all,
I can't remember any highlight.
1987 movie, is it really spoilers?
Well, I guess you're right.
Alright, I'll say someone dies in the movie. Here we go.
I wonder who.
14 minutes in. Okay. Someone dies. I wonder who. But anyway.
Yeah, but he would wake up in either the park or in the beach rocks.
He woke up in the park with covered in leaves, sleeping on a park bench.
He was at Clay's mom's house. He tried to steal jewels from his little sister or cousin.
And then he broke into his dad's mansion and was trying to steal it. What was it? What are they, CDs?
It looked like he was taking CDs, which was crazy. I don't know what he was trying to take, but he ended up getting caught. But the thing is how real the movie is, because that's actually how it is. You want to get money, and you just can't.
You know, he also was he like broke into someone's house and fell asleep in their house too later on in real life when he was a full-blown crackhead, right?
He probably thought he was doing a director's cut. He's like, let's get some more
Oh,
footage.
there's a reboot.
Oh, there was a reboot. Yeah, he brings it to. I honestly think, and I have to look at the timeline, but I bet you this movie has something to do with him actually in real life becoming, doing drugs and everything until he brought his career back with, I guess, Iron Man, or I don't know what he brought his career back
So
with.
you don't think this was just a regular movie role for him? You think he took this to heart? And
I do.
You think he took this to heart and decided, I'm going to live this lifestyle?
He was a young actor who wanted to get he wanted to be recognized, so he said, if I want to play the role right, I'm being serious. If I want to play the role right, I have to actually be a junkie. I have to smoke crack. And actually, let me tell you, when you watch the movie, you think he's a junkie. He really do. He does a great job in this, in Robert Downey Jr. And right after the movie, you have to look at the timeline again, but I'm sure that was his whole demise. It really was. He did I mean, come on now. It was the lips. He looked like Dave Chappelle.
He was like, he had like cracked lips, like someone punched him in the face every day. Like,
Let me tell you, the makeup artist didn't have to do anything. He came in with those lips.
and he started having like the rings under his eyes, like Beetlejuice style.
Sometimes in movies, when you want to play a martial artist, you have to take martial arts up.
And sometimes to be a crackhead in a movie, you gotta smoke crack.
You gotta smoke crack. You want to be astronaut? You gotta be with the
You
NASA
have to.
astronauts.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not joking. I think that he actually tried to.
Matt Damon should have been sent out into space. Seriously.
And left on Mars. That was a good movie, by the way. That what was it called? Mission something.
I didn't see it.
Oh, it's a great movie. But look, I'm just saying. I think he took the role a little too serious, and I think he's let me get a little dime bag, whatever they called. Growing up when crack first came out, we used to walk the streets of the Bronx and see all kinds of vials on the floor. You don't really see it anymore. They used to be all over the place. You used to put them in the bicycles with little vials, red tops, blue tops, green tops. Now you don't really see it. They clean it up nicely. Maybe they present it in a different wrapper. But there's no vials anymore. But
there used to be hypodermic needles on the floor. That's what
it was crazy. It was crazy, and that's how a lot of people would catch it.
Hypodermic needles on the floor walking through the streets. Hell yeah.
It was pretty insane how it was. I'm sure in LA too, because that's where the crack originated.
Well, there's drugs everywhere you go.
I'm talking about
drugs everywhere.
But I'm talking about. Well, it's a fact that it was cooked up in LA originally.
But all right. All right, let's get back to
Let's get back to the synopsis.
Let's go back. All right, we're going to talk about Less Than Zero.
We'll get back to our rating, too, our rating system here. We need to come up with a rating system for these reviews. Like, we'll give it 2 thumbs up the ass or 2 thumbs up in the air. You know what I'm trying to say? Something like that. We have to come up with our own creative thing.
Well, all right, your boy James Spader.
Ooh.
Talk about.
He plays a scumbag and everything. He doesn't age either.
Talk about your boy James Spader in this movie. Talk about what a.
My boy. I can't watch it.
What a fine, upstanding citizen he was in this movie.
Oh, he made his mark. He stereotyped himself in this movie because nobody put him in like a comedy as a nice guy, as an angel. He was always a scumbag in movies. So this movie set his trend for the black list.
He's a very reptilian person.
Oh, he was a scumbag, and they make him look like a scumbag. He actually does play a good part, a good scumbag in that. Do you think he really talks like that? Nice and mellow, with his hair slicked back in real life? You think he ever gets excited?
He's always trying to, look at him, trying to enforce.
What was the line in the movie, Don't Test Me? Or what was the line he said?
Who the fuck do you think you're talking?
Who the fuck do you think
He said that a couple times.
Who the fuck do you think you're talking?
He said this a couple. He's like his private pool with his floaty phone.
Right.
He leaves his floaty phone in the thing. Andrew McCarthy comes running up to him and says, "Don't you dare talk to Julian.
Don't sell to
deal
him.
to Julian."
Nothing. Who the fuck
you
and he's in a pool fucking pretty much with Robert Downey, and he's saying that. That goes to show how hardcore he was.
Even reptiles like to swim now and again.
That's almost like a Scarface. He's in the pool, like, who put this thing together? Me. Right, when you're in the pool, you get really macho and shit. Who the fuck you think you're talking to, huh? But no, James Spader was a scumbag in this movie. And he had the scumbag goon from Breaking Bad,
from
who
a
was
couple
in it.
other movies.
Couple other
That guy's
movies,
been
yeah.
on other stuff.
And he was stereotyped in the movie too. Scumbags always play scumbags in his movies.
Around this time too. Yeah. This was the time to be. If you're gonna be a scumbag,
Absolutely.
a scumbag henchman in a movie.
Absolutely.
This was the time. The 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, they would just recycle
The 80s and
scumbags.
the 90s was the time, especially for henchmen.
They
though.
recycled the scumbags.
The henchmen were always good.
Oh, 100%. like that tall guy in Tango and Cash with the ponytail. They always would recycle those scumbags. And that guy, you would recognize him. But you know what's funny with Less Than Zero? Great movie. Very depressing, but it really is a good movie. And especially if you haven't seen it, but you know, because there's a lot of actors that people know, and if they haven't seen the movie, they'll be like, oh, you know, like Jamie Gertz, James Spader, obviously. And,
But do you think, not to sound like I'm aging myself, but do you think that any millennials really know who Andrew McCarthy is?
well, probably not. They probably see Weekend at Bernie's. Actually, I don't think any millennials would know who anybody is except for Robert Downey Jr.
I would actually.
Or maybe
say
James Spader.
that, would you say that Weekend at Bernie's is his most well-known movie?
Unfortunately, it
Andrew
is.
McCarthy.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is. I mean, you know. I mean, he
Or
went from.
St. Elmo's Fire, you're right.
Yeah, same with
Less
Fire.
Than Zero.
Right. Yeah, right.
Well, Less Than Zero is not as. This movie
Well,
is
St.
not.
on Fire has a feel-good feel
But I'm
to it.
saying Less Than Zero is not as touted these days as much as movies like St. Elmo's Fire and The Breakfast Club, or the Brat Pack movies.
Right, the Brad Pack. Well, I think it has to
Nobody talks about Less Than Zero these days, but it's a fucked up movie.
I also think it has a lot to do with the
It's a
soundtrack.
fucked up, hard-hitting movie.
St. Elmo's Fire had a good soundtrack with the song.
This had a good
Wasn't that a
soundtrack
Kenny
too,
Loggins?
man.
Was that Kenny
Yeah,
Loggins?
Less Than Zero had a great soundtrack. You can't deny that. Every song.
A lot of
Every
these movies
song.
from the 80s made the song. It wasn't the song that made the movie, it was the movie that made the song. You would hear the song and say, wow. You know, honestly, right, nowadays, a lot of songs are already put in movies that are already popular. 80s made music popular, wouldn't you say? Like the Rocky theme, you know, the Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Movies
Sure.
used to make the soundtrack rather than now.
Actually, I always thought it was a good combination of both. I thought you needed a good combination of both.
Over the top. Meet me halfway. That song wouldn't be as popular if it wasn't over the top. And
I'd say
it was probably made for over the top.
I'd say the over-the-top soundtrack was better than the actual movie. But
I like that over the top movie though.
before we close this out, you want
It was a little over the top with the arm wrestling. I don't know whether they have competitions like that, but
before we close this
yeah, we'll
out.
close it out. I'll give it two.
You want-
Well, what would I give it? I would give it.
Wait, before you give it your thing.
I don't even know what to rate it.
Critical
Two thumbs up the ass?
responses. Critical responses.
Critical responses.
Leonard Maltin. I know you know Leonard Maltin.
I don't.
Gave it 2 out of 4 stars.
I know Leonard Maltin. I know Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Maltin. He gave it 2 out of what?
2 out of 4 stars.
2 out of 4. I would actually give it 3 out of. It's a good movie. It really is. It really is a good movie, but it is depressing. You know, you have to have an open mind when you watch it too. Let me tell you, the acting was pretty good, except for Jamie Gertz. I mean, but James Spader did a good job. Robert Downey Jr. did a good job. They all pretty much did a good job.
Yeah, Jamie Gertz was kind of acting like.
Yeah, she was acting like a bimbo, kind of. You know, brunette bimbo.
She wasn't being as good a drug addict as Robert Downey Jr. was being.
No, well, exactly. I mean, Robert Downey Jr., you know, he was the ultimate drug addict in this movie.
Yeah, 50 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's what the movie got?
On Rotten Tomatoes.
And you know, Rotten Tomatoes came out way after this movie was made. So,
Yeah.
they're a bunch of assholes. How could they fucking figure out that 50%? Give me a fucking break. That's wrong. It got 50% of Rotten Tomatoes? That's bullshit. It should get at least 70. It was a good movie.
Alright, listen to this one, Mike.
Oh,
In the Chicago Sun-Times, Roger Ebert.
I read that every day in New York.
Roger Ebert gave Less Than Zero a 4-star review.
I love Roger Ebert for that. And Siskel's cool too. It should get fortified, and that's a guy. Let me tell you, Roger
They're
Ebert.
both dead too.
I understand that, but let me tell you, Siskel and Ebert were one of the toughest critics ever. They were tough as fucking nails. 4 stars. Hey, that's what.
Oh yeah, they were.
Tough as fucking nails. I mean, movies that were pretty good, they had fun watching. I don't know. They found fault in everything. I didn't like the way the eyeliner was done. Give me a fucking break. No, Less Than Zero was good. And let me say, Robert Downey Jr. looked like he was wearing eyeliner through the whole movie. Less Than Zero.
He was.
He was all bad under the
started
eyes.
running. The more he got cracked out, the more his eyeliner was running throughout the movie.
Yeah.
But
that was probably one of the first movies that they ever showed real crack smoking because he had the bass and the glass.
do you think it was? Yeah, he was on
Really?
camera. On camera.
On camera. I mean, actually,
The director
they probably
was like-
gave him fake crack to put in there. He was like, he probably switched it with his own
was
crack.
like, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna get into this role.
Actually,
I wouldn't be surprised if he did smoke crack on that movie set. I really don't. I really wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
But no, I give it
Wrap
3
it
out of
up.
4. I give it. If I have to go star rating,
we'll go
2 thumbs up.
No.
We'll go star rating.
No stars. Fuck the stars, man. You do dumb ratings.
We can do like Gladiator. If it goes down,
Yeah,
that
dumb
like
ratings.
I give it a thumbs up. Oh, you want to go 2 thumbs up or 1 thumbs up? Like I'll give it 1.5 thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up too. I really do. It's depressing as fuck, but that's what makes a movie good. When you can really feel like you're depressed and shit. And let me tell you, right now I feel like killing myself.
It's not like I want to like do cartwheels and
It's not a fun
jumping
watch.
jacks and throw around friggin' confetti after watching this movie. But it's,
No, you don't want to throw confetti. No, if anything, you're gonna get the Undertaker. But no, I enjoyed the
So
movie.
you give it a thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up. Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. Well, what is the rating system? Thumbs up, or how does it work? Like it would be like thumbs up, or to the side, thumbs down. It's either thumbs up. So this would be like neutral. Like it's a. Would you say Sideways is a watch? It's neutral. You might like it or hate it. I guess.
I'd say take it at your own risk.
I give it a thumbs up. I say watch it. Watch it.
I'd say thumbs up.
Thumbs up means watch it. Thumbs down means toss it in the fucking.
Nah, I say thumbs up for Less Than Zero. Less Than Zero, thumbs up.
You can't get any less than 0.
No, I'm not giving 0 thumbs.
0.
I'm giving 1 thumb. Alright. Mikey.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Alright.
If anybody didn't watch it, which I'm sure everybody watched it already, you had to have, right?
Who knows? Anyway.
Who gives a hey, who knows?
We're gonna peace out. Later, bro.
Later, Gators.